Is there a more iconic gun than the AK? Rough-hewn from wood and iron, its simple construction makes it a great example of industrial design. The go-to weapon of choice for a revolution, and the backbone of any insurrection. So, what makes the AK so special? Why is an 80-year-old rifle still so popular? And is there really no alternative? The legendary rifle's origin starts in Soviet Russia, in the embers of World War II, an era of rapid technological improvement amid acts of great valor. And the Soviet Union loved a good hero. Mikhail Kalashnikov was a tanker captain in the Red Army. Wounded in action in 1941, while in recovery he learned of his comrades' gripes with their issued rifles, and resolved to tackle them with a rifleman's approach to small arms design, with innate usability born from simplicity and reliable function. His early prototypes caught the eye of officials, and Kalashnikov soon found himself part of a small arms development group for the Red Army. The Soviets were not shy of taking influence from what other forces were wielding, and from captured Nazi supplies, Allied equipment, and a long line of homemade prototypes, the AK-47 began to take shape. A major influence was the Sturmgewehr 44. With similar form factor, it proved the viability of a mid-powered cartridge and provided the gas system for Kalashnikov's new rifle. The earlier RPD would also lend its intermediate cartridge to the AK-47, the 7.62 by 39mm round, also known as the M43. Its slightly tapered frame gives the AK its signature curved banana magazine. In demonstrations, the 1947 prototype outperformed any competing rifle by an order of magnitude, and was quickly adopted by the Russians. Although initial manufacturing issues did slow down deployment, these issues were fixed by 1959 when a modernized version was issued. Designated the AKM, it replaced the milled receiver with a stamped metal one, both lighter and easier to produce, and was also equipped with a muzzle brake to improve the accuracy of automatic fire. There was a large number of variants based on this design, from AKS with folding stock, to a large number of foreign-produced AK pattern rifles, such as the Chinese Type 56, Hungarian AMD 65, or the Finnish RK62. The smaller caliber AK-74 emerged in 1974, firing the smaller but higher velocity 5.45 by 39mm round. With greater wounding potential compared to the older round, the AK-74 eventually replaced the AKM in active service. Pair these variants with such a broad service history, and you have a recipe for a very popular rifle. There have been more Kalashnikov pattern rifles made than all other assault rifles combined. In fact, out of all the small arms in the world, 1 in 5 is an AK. It's utterly ambiguous, found in every corner of the world, and such is its influence, it even adorns the flag of Mozambique. No surprise then, the AK-47 is as popular in video games as it is in real life, with perhaps as many digital renditions as those stamped from steel. It is so well known that in most instances, regardless of variant, are labeled the AK-47 without fear of license rights. Only the most careful will choose to use a SADS appellation, such as GoldenEye's KS-7 Soviet or the CV-47 in earlier Counter-Strike games. These virtual depictions reflect the rifle's design in a variety of ways, but there's no mistaking the familiar characteristics of the AK. Often, a weapon's identity is forged by the forces who wield them, and with its prominent use by the Second World in the Cold War, the AK has come to symbolize the defiance of those who might dare oppose the West. It's the counterpart to the American M16, and the weapon of choice for any opposing force. And that may be why it's often the default option for the bad guys in any games that depict any recent conflict. In some cases, like Counter-Strike, the AK is only available to terrorist forces, being the top-tier automatic weapon along with the counter-terrorist M4. Perhaps it's by its association with untrained militia fighters, or just affinity by design, that long bursts of automatic fire, spray and pray, seem like a natural fit for the AK. It has adequate accuracy, and is more than capable of hitting targets within its effective range, but for some reason, the AK just doesn't feel like a precision rifle. Luckily, the rifle is quite well suited to sustained fire, and is normally reflected in its depiction in video games. The AK's rate of fire is moderate at 600 rounds per minute, and while recoil is definitely present, it's still possible to rest its sights on a close target. It's not particularly elegant, nor great for ammo conservation, but you have 30 chances to hit something, even if it's not your target. Of course, it's not just enough to be able to fire automatically. A rifle must also be able to go through magazine after magazine of ammo without stoppage or maintenance. Luckily, the AK's reliability is legendary. With loose tolerances and very simple blowback mechanism, there's not much that can go wrong, unless they can't be put back right. This is one trait that does not transfer well into video games, as weapon maintenance in a firefight is highly frustrating. Still, some games do reflect these factors, most notably in Far Cry 3, with scavenged rifles proving less reliable than those bought brand new from the store. Weapon condition can also be a factor in RPG games, such as Fallout 3, but a poorly kept weapon only suffers in the damage stakes. It's this reliability and simplicity that gives much of this rifle's charm. Other weapons may be more high-tech, but that does you no good if it catches in tough conditions. It seems almost unholy to tamper with the purity of the AK. Strapping anything extra to the weapon feels like an insult to Kalashnikov's design principles. Some games do allow you to customize your AK with a variety of attachments, strapping on optics, grips, suppressors, and horrifying paint jobs to your rifle. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare had the right idea, as equipping sights would hurt the rifle's long-range damage, so the most logical way was to run the rifle Spartan. Remember, just because you can, doesn't mean you should. Of course, if you're some mad hat dictator of a war-torn country, you can generally do as you like. That includes getting your favorite rifle dipped in gold. Although such weapons are ornamental and obviously not meant for the rigors of battle, some games do have golden guns, representing the highest level of skill with the rifle. Others just represent the lack of good taste. So, the AK-47, the very best there is. From drug barons to peasant rebellions, the AK is everyone's favorite weapon. A great equalizer, irrespective of wealth or status. It's not the most accurate weapon, nor the most elegant, but it simply doesn't have to be. It's good enough. It excels where troops need it most. It's reliable, stoppages are rare, and anything that does occur can probably be fixed with a rock. It's simple to use. No need to pore over a manual. The AK-47 is point and shoot. It's so simple, a child could use it. And in some parts of the world, they often do. It's cheap, easy to make, and even easier to acquire. If you're looking to arm a rebellion on a budget, no other rifle will come close. It's an old gun, but not outdated. It was cutting edge in the aftermath of World War II, and led the way for the rise of assault rifles in the 20th century. Today, although not as high-tech as some other small arms, the AK-47 still performs its duty, and with over 100 million rifles in existence, it's unlikely to disappear anytime soon. With its widespread use and low cost, the weapon can be counted alongside the most basic of tools: the hammer, the sickle, the AK-47.